Well, financial infrastructure company Stripe is now integrated with Ethereum, allowing businesses to accept ETH payments directly. This move does highlight how TradFi and DeFi are coming together and changing global payments. Over the last 12 months, $33 trillion in stablecoins moved across blockchain, but there's still a lot of room to grow when it comes to crypto use for e-commerce payments. Now, according to a study from Rapyd, it showed 64% of businesses, such as major retailers, e-commerce platforms, and everyday service providers plan to use stablecoin in the next 3 years. Well, joining me live at the New York Stock Exchange this morning is Arthur Firstov, who's Chief Business Officer of Mercuryo. Well, great to have you here, Arthur. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much, Remy, for inviting me.
Well, as you and I were talking, it's been quite the start to 2026. And when we look at the outlook as well as themes, of course, geopolitics, macro, and of course, with this IPO of BitGo happening here, there's a lot to digest. But where do stablecoins fit into the picture?
So I think it's been a really exciting year for finance and stablecoins in 2025, and moving into 2026, we see a lot of exciting things happening. Like just this week, New York Stock Exchange announced 24/7 trading, tokenization of digital assets, and I think for stablecoins and for finance, it's been also a very similar picture, specifically with institutional growth, and it's already there, payments, remittances, payrolls, settlements, it's happening pretty much in front of us, and excited to see what's going to happen next couple of months here.
Yeah, and Arthur, I'm glad you mentioned that announcement from the New York Stock Exchange regarding tokenization 24/7 trading, because when we take a look at what's happening in digital assets versus, say, other asset classes like equities, we know that there has been 24/7 trading going on. So what are the key trends and innovations that you're watching as we head into the rest of this year, and why?
Yeah, I think for many people it's not a secret anymore that institutions and banks already adopted decentralized blockchain technology, and this year we're going to be a year of like even more mass adoption of decentralized self-custodial infrastructure, banks and traditional financial applications. We're going to move to native decentralized exchanges trading, enabling self-custodial asset and multi-collateral trading in general, but also, like, I believe for stable coins and for payments as a field is going to be a big year, specifically in terms of regulation, in terms of like positive feedback from everyone, every single participant in the financial system, and eventually it's going to be probably the final year where it's going to be like huge mass adoption, and those technologies are going to be available for many people in the world globally, and permissionlessly.
Yeah, and you and I were talking about all the digital asset events happening around the globe in the coming months. And of course, we know that many stakeholders will be on the ground. Institutional adoption has been a key theme that we're watching. But when it comes to real use adoption on the ground, not just in the US, but in other territories and regions as well, what's really happening?
Yeah, I think what interesting happened last year in 2025, we saw Rapyd released and announced like trading of equities for European customers using the blockchain and tokenizing these assets and enabling those use cases for non-US citizens as well, and as well as different payment systems like MasterCard, Visa, and other traditional banks enabling those use cases that been never available before, access for treasury bills and through stable coins for non-US companies, non-US residents as well. This is actually what's happening already, and excited to see it even more this year.
Yeah, and it's interesting watching what's happening geopolitically around the globe, because whenever certain nation states get mentioned, of course, the use case of digital assets, whether it's stable coins or other assets, do come into play. So what are you watching when it comes to the emerging markets, and what's really happening?
Emerging markets actually adopting cryptocurrency and massively adopting stablecoin networks as well. They're using this for cross-border payment, for their own treasury management, for 24/7 settlements. So we are moving from like 24/5 trading to 24/7 trading, and the same for payments. And emerging markets actually gaining probably much more momentum, and basically the decentralized finance promise and DeFi as a whole is the permissionless, open source, and verifiable infrastructure that's probably gonna merge all of the markets, and it's going to be a very similar environment that we have here in the US.
Yeah, and you mentioned some keywords including settlement as well as adoption. So I know you have a lot of conversations with different stakeholders in the ecosystem. So when it comes to regulation as well as equity, what should we be watching for in 2026?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, it was really interesting last year. No one probably expected that it's going to be so fast shift in terms of regulation, in terms of adoption, and in terms of policies. So we're really excited at Mercuryo to be fully compliant and regulated and see that adoption happening, because it enables other companies, like you mentioned, in emerging markets to get access to all of those products and offer them to their customers as well. So in terms of like 2026, I think it's going to be even faster.
Well, great to have you on, and hopefully we'll have you back once you travel the world and attend all these digital asset events.
Thank you very much,
Thank you so much.
Thanks.